what did you think of the defense and the adjustments that they played in the game against Cincinnati to hold them, I think, 37 yards in the fourth quarter? What were those adjustments?
Well, there were some solid adjustments. I would say the biggest thing is that for our younger group of guys or newer group, I was pleased with how they adjusted to those adjustments. Sometimes when you have a new group like that, it's hard to make adjustments because they're just learning the basic parts. So I was very proud of our defensive group for doing that.
What can you say about Ryland? Early on, he would beat for just on a great throw and on that early touchdown, but it seemed like he stayed locked in and didn't really allow them to pick on him otherwise.
Yeah, it's impressive for a young guy to be able to wash it away and come back and play well. So very impressed. And, you know, our defense puts those guys on an island sometimes, and that's going to happen, and you got to wash it away and come back for another play, and he did.
You guys have had the benefit of having, some long-term guys there the past few years. How has that been kind of game planning and trying to coach these guys to get to that level? Like, hey, we need to have a short-term memory, lock in, and stick to your jobs.
Yeah, well, that's what Coach Collins teaches every day, and those guys have waited their turn, so they've had a little bit of experience with it. Now they're under the gun, obviously, as a starter, so that happens. But I think that's something we talk about every day.
You're still upstairs on game day, right?
Yes, sir.
What do your coaches tell you down in the field about the resolve you guys had, when things were going not so great early in
our kids all along since we came back from the summer have had that same level of ability to flush the previous play and go on to the next. And, they have just kept playing. And even in scrimmages, we've given up a big play and found a way to bow up and make a good play. So I wasn't totally surprised. I didn't hear anybody doing anything but trying to adjust and go one play at a time.
Is that unusual for a young team?
Yeah, I think for a young team, we're pretty mature, and I think that's the critical part of it. Kids don't know what they don't know, but they know we believe in them, and they believe in us, and we just stick together and try to find a way, and that's what happened.
Something you guys saw in them when you were recruiting them?
I think some of that is guys with good football sense have that ability to go to the next play. And I think some of it is, we've got some really good playmaker type guys, and they feel confident in their playmaking ability. And sooner or later, they're going to make one, and they did.
Ray, did you feel like you guys were able to get more pressure on Sorsby in the second half as opposed to the first?
Yes. Some of that was play calling. And then some of it was the guys, adjusting and making some things happen that maybe we couldn't get done in the first half. I thought they did a nice job of scheming us in the first half, and we didn't adjust well. And so it took us a little while to adjust, but once we did, thought we played okay.
What do you guys have to do better in the run game? Tyner got a decent average yards per carry, and you're facing a West Virginia team that has run the ball and you guys pretty well.
Sure.
What do you guys have to do to get better at that department right now?
Well, we have to make those adjustments that we did in the first half sooner. We also, if you look at, let's see, I think Cincinnati was, fifth in the country in rushing, and West Virginia's third. So these guys are good running teams, and they're going to be able to run it some. The critical thing is to, minimize those gains. Once in a while, they'll pop one, but it's critical to make some big plays, and I think the kids, for the most part, did.
Randy, it seems like every quarterback now are going to present issues with their legs. What's Garrett's big, or what's unique about the way Garrett plays?
Oh, he is a great athlete. He runs fast, and he's got good sense to find an open window. So he's a really good runner. I believe he may have led the country in quarterback touchdowns last year running, and it doesn't surprise me. He also throws a great ball, so he's a very good quarterback.
How do you find a way to counter that?
Play good defense.
Stylistically wise, what do you need to watch just from that offense?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Stylistically wise, what do you need to watch from that offense?
Well, they will throw the ball downfield, then they'll run quarterback. When you spread out and try to cover everybody, and they'll do a great job of mixing it up. So I think at the end of the day, you have to do a great job of reading your keys and doing your job.
Brandon George waited a long time to get into the starting lineup and be a guy who's playing as much as he's playing right now? How much has he meant to the defense, particularly with young guys around him at linebacker, and how have you assessed his play?
Yeah, well, he's an experienced guy, and he's also the captain. So we put a lot of onus on him being that leader, and he's done a great job of relaxing the young guys when the situation gets tough. And I think that's a big part of us playing with a level of maturity is his maturity.
How have those young linebackers done on the outside?
I thought they made some plays. You guys tell me. You guys have all the stats. But I would say they did very well.
Beyond the stats, though, I mean, responsibilities, fits, all those things.
Oh, we had some issues. We had, with a younger guy like those guys they had some issues they had to correct. The positive is they corrected them. And, that's the key to life is to learn from your mistake, and that's what experience brings. So as they get more experience and they play more, the better they'll play.
It seems to me, TV announcers said the same thing. You pressured a little bit more the quarterback. Pat always says it's like 33%. Were you doing any more of that?
I don't think it was much more than that. I would say we were pretty consistent. We may have made a few adjustments with it, but at the end of the day, we did it and made more plays in it than we did in the first half.
Maybe pressuring a little smidge more than you were last year?
Probably a little bit, but not to the point where it's excessive.
It seems like Kyle Lewis is around the ball a lot and seems to just play a lot. Is he one of these guys at this point where you just really can't take him off the field? You need him out there as much?
Well, he plays fast and plays physical, and the beautiful thing is he makes plays. So when guys makes plays, you like to keep them on the field when possible.
What's unique about coaching in a backyard brawl, and how do you coach your guys to prepare for an environment like that?
Well, the beautiful thing is that some of the guys have been there, so they know. Probably the negative on defense is about half the guys don't. Because they haven't been here. And so we try to explain to them, we try to show them clips and just visualization of it, and I think at the end of the day, they'll have to experience it to really understand it, as we all do.
Do you want them to bring more of an edge, or do you try to keep them level, say it's just another game, or how do you want them to approach them?
Well, I would say if we don't bring the edge on every play, regardless of who we're playing and when we're playing them, I would be disappointed. So I wouldn't expect any more or less than we would get in any other game.
Randy, obviously crowd noise would probably work against the defense. How do you feel you're prepared communication-wise defensively?
Yeah, well, we have to communicate in many different ways, for sure, and that's a good point. I think this was probably the loudest game 2 years ago that we played. We played in some pretty big venues. So, communication is critical, and being able to communicate within the team is critical. I think the biggest positive right now is you have the green dot on the linebacker, so it saves a little bit of communication.
You've been in a lot of games like this in your long career. Do you feel a little bit more excitement, a little bit more goosebumps up your arm? You get into a game like this with 70,000 people?
Oh, I think so, but at the end of the day, if I don't start getting goosebumps before a game, it's probably time for me to sit with you guys. So, I get them for every game, certainly for this one.
Have you always gotten?
Yes, yeah, get excited for everyone.
There's been a lot of rotation on the defensive line, especially at defensive tackle. What have you learned in the first two games that you did?
Well, we have a lot of freshmen and a lot of new guys. So what have I learned? I've learned that we're going to continue to play all of them, keep letting them get better. You're going to have injuries during the course of a season, so we have to have as many ready to go as possible. And so, the guys are playing hard, they're playing fast, and, they're going to make some mistakes because they're young, but they're playing hard and fast, and that's all we can ask for.
You mentioned the green dot. Is that you that's in his ear?
No, Coach Manilak is. Mm-hmm.
What's the rivalry game in your past you remember from either playing or coaching?
Geez, there's been many of them. Probably the most recent one before is Northwestern Illinois is a big in-state rival. So that was probably the biggest in-state, unique one.
What about the player?
Geez, I don't know. Probably my high school team against the other high school team is probably the most critical one by far. But you know, there's just been so many. You know, they're all about the same when you come right down to it.
Kind of a number of games.
You know, I haven't. I'll wait for that when the time comes to sit with you guys and let you guys add it up for me.
Randy, what have you seen from Rashad Battle? I mean, obviously he's been in the past 2 years and starting at quarterback. What have you seen from him in the first few games?
Well, Rashad is another one who's able to play and wipe it away when bad things happen and continue to play hard. He's played way more physical than he has in the past, which has been a great thing.